Welcome to part 2 of Second Chance. Chapter 7 Silence. It's okay. It's all right. I'm here. No, no. Veshnis repeated those words in the darkness. Nozomi tuned her out as she tried to take in her broken body. As soon as she opened her eyes, she knew Veshnis would get louder. So Nozomi kept still, eyes closed. Immediately, Nozomi felt a strangely familiar taste in her mouth. It tasted just like the caramels her mother would give her after every shot. Her ejection symptoms were completely gone. Her body ached with some pain, but not nearly as much as she should have felt with her wounds. It felt like all her wounds were bandaged, leaving the rest of her body bare. Bare but not cold, as she felt a blanket over herself and a pillow under her head. Even her braid had completely come undone as she felt her hair drape down her neck. It would have been nice to stay in this darkness. It's okay. It's all right. I'm here. But she had to open her eyes eventually. Nozomi opened her eyes to a flood of light. It wasn't natural. Oh, thank God, you're awake! Nozomi looked around. She was in a windowless room, and right across from her, sitting, with a spear in her hands, was a girl staring daggers at her. She appeared to be the same age as Nozomi, with emerald hair and an even darker green stripe in her hair. She had crimson eyes, staring straight at Nozomi. Nozomi, be careful. She likely healed you, but she could still hurt you if she thinks you're a threat. This room has no windows, and you can't even move, so running is not an option. Just stay calm and polite. Great. You're not dead. What a miracle. Did you do this? The girl rose to her feet in shock, gripping the handle of her spear. How does a human know our language? I I have sacred blood. It can translate for both of us somehow. Nozomi, you shouldn't have told her. The girl stood flabbergasted before shaking it off and grinning. Of course. You humans are sly. Didn't you heal me? I did. Are there more of you? No, only me. What's your name, human? It's Nozomi Kirafuji. That's weird. You can just call me Nozomi. I'll stick to human. I don't trust her. She clearly abhors humans. Can I ask what your name is? The girl hesitated. She was clearly still on edge. Understandably, given the bloody reputation of Nozomi's species. She should have just left her to die. Tana. What? My name is Tana! It's way easier to remember than your name. I'm sorry. I'm still getting my bearings. Why did you heal me? You don't get any more questions. Are there more of you running around? No. You're lying. Where are the rest of you? I'm not. They're all dead. I'm the only one. Where did you even come from? Nozomi, you don't have to tell her anything. We were part of a military squad. I'm the only survivor. The rest were wiped out. Hana's face distorted with disgust and anger, no doubt regretting saving Nozomi's hide. So, You failed and ran? We killed every one of your heroes, even Veshnis herself. That's not possible. Humanity made it possible. My comrades were cloned from the Second Coming. After we defeated Veshnis, they gave their lives to stop the weapon that would have wiped out all life on the planet. You said you have sacred blood. There's no way you were born with it. So who did it belong to? Did you even care to know? Don't tell her the truth. She already flinched when you said my name before. Say you don't know and she'll believe you. Veshnis. The blood belonged to Veshnis. How? My mother seduced her when they were teenagers. Veshnis didn't give it willingly. My mother stole it from her while she was passed out. Nozomi, do you want this girl to hate you? Your mother didn't do that. Tana stepped back, eyes wide. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! God damn it! Tana turned away. Her rage was completely justified. She had every reason to go back on healing a violent colonizer born from the monster that drove the Paragon of Hope to violent insanity. What are you going to do with me? Tana looked back at Nozomi, eyes sharp. Do any Futurans know you're here? I don't know where here is. I mean, has anyone seen you? I was spotted by 3 men a long time ago, but I fell into a river. An old man named Rurix pointed me this way. Tana growled, almost like she recognized that name. Why? I need the lover's lily to keep Veshnis's blood from making me sick. Of course. Is that what you gave me? I told you, you don't get any more questions. Tana stomped over to the door before turning back. I'm going to think about whether I should throw you out or not. Don't think about leaving this room. I'm locking the door behind me anyway. I understand. Tana growled once more before slamming the door behind her. This isn't good, Nozomi. Why did you say all that? Nozomi ignored her and closed her eyes. She had no clue what time it was, but either way, she needed to speak to Veshnis. As soon as Nozomi arrived in the white void of purple and green, Veshnis rushed over to her. Nozomi, what were you thinking? I wanted to tell her the truth. Why? Because I hate lies. Nozomi, your mother loved you. That was never a lie. You need to have. I don't want to hear it. I understand. You need time to see. You've had to deal with a scale of loss unlike anything anyone has faced. But I believe in you, Nozomi. You can persevere and live, even now. Nozomi gritted her teeth. Why are you still here? You asked me to stay. I promised I would always protect you. Because you think that's what Yuki wanted? Or is it because you have nothing else to live for? Nozomi, I made a promise to both of you. You made a promise to protect your family. And what happened? Your own sister was captured, lobotomized, and used by the enemy until she was more useful to them as a blood bag. How did that feel? Watching your little sister beg for her life in front of child soldiers who did nothing to help her. Maybe it would have been easier if she had just killed herself. For a moment, Veshnis's eyes turned sharp. Only for a moment, before they softened again. Nozomi. What? What positive spin could you put on that situation? Do you love Yuki more than your own sister? What happened to your brother? The man who raised you? You chose them over Yuki before, so why do you never talk about them? Vashnis's eyes sharpened again with each question. Her fists clenched tighter and tighter. The monster was about to strike. I'm not going to strike you, Nozomi! How do you know that? It's obvious. Based on what? Your actions and your thoughts. Nozomi felt a chill where the pair's claw mark should have been. And you read my mind? Yes. Nozomi's face cracked into a misshapen smile. All she could do was laugh. It started softly, then grew more and more frantic. course! Of course she could! Why didn't Nozomi even think of that? Because she was just that stupid! Stupid enough to sneak on to the SDU mission. Stupid enough to let her friends die for her. Stupid enough to love a creator that never loved her! Nozomi! Nozomi turned to Vashnis with a cold smile. Calmly, she spoke. Guess you heard all that, too. You heard all of it. Every thought I ever had. And you hid it from me. I was looking out for you. Is that why you spoke to me? Because you knew I wanted someone to kill me? Yes, you were in pain, and you wanted Yuki to live on through me. Yes, but I knew it. You're pathetic. You're somehow even stupider than me. You can say or think whatever you want of me. I will never stop protecting you. That was it. She was done with this. Just like that, Nozomi ran full force into Vashnis and punched her right in the gut, over and over, over and over, just desperate to wound this thing that caused her so much pain and burden. But Vashnis just stood there and took it, eyes infuriatingly soft as always. If anyone was hurt, it was Nozomi. Her fist ached. Why won't you just kill me already? Swiftly, Vashnis grabbed Nozomi's wrist, forcing her arms apart, and locked her into a tight embrace. It was hopeless to get out. The fire in Nozomi's body quickly retreated. Her voice returned, cold and beaten. Why can't you let me make this one choice for myself? Because it's a choice you can't take back. You have so many other choices to make. You're freer now than you've ever been. I'm alone. You have me. You know how much I hate you. I don't care. You're the reason I couldn't die with my friends. It's all your fault. You grew into a monster that killed all my friends, all of humanity. You have it in you. So just kill me. I won't. You're a ghost. Yuki tricked you, just like she tricked me. What do you have to live for? I love you, Nozomi. Nozomi gritted her teeth, her voice still cold. Because I'm Yuki's daughter. Because you're you! You give, and I'm sorry that I will not let you kill yourself. But I just can't let you go through with that. With each word, Vashnis held Nozomi closer, suffocating her with warmth. Let me go! Surprisingly, Veshnis obeyed. You're not alone, Nozomi. You never will be. Not just because I'm here. All those you've lost are still with you, loving you. That includes your mother. Nozomi balled her fist and looked directly into Veshnis's pathetic eyes. Veshnis deserved to suffer. Never talk to me ever again. If that is what you wish, it is. Veshnis tugged at her lip before turning to leave. If you ever need me, just call to me. I won't. Without another word, Veshnis faded away. Good riddance. The next day, Nozomi woke up to pain. Whatever medication Tana gave her had worn off. Nozomi didn't mind. It was more of a comfort to her, anyhow. Nozomi wanted to throw up. Every word, every single thought, Veshnis could hear. Nozomi sighed. No point in filtering her thoughts. They were about the only things she had left to control. Especially now that she was stuck in bed, in this windowless room, with nothing to do. Maybe she could actually die from boredom. Suddenly, the door opened. Tana came in with her spear and a tray. Wordlessly, Tana laid the tray on Nozomi's bedside table. Sit up. I'm not hungry. You need a full stomach for the painkillers. Painkillers? Tana picked up a thin leaf from the tray. This. I don't need it. You're going to take it while you're staying here. I thought you said. I made up my mind. You're staying here till your leg is healed. You don't have to do that. I don't care. You humans, I can actually show mercy to the enemy. Now work with me so I can feed you and leave. Okay. When Nozomi reached for the spoon, her shoulder burst with pain. She dropped it. I'll take care of it. Nozomi didn't argue. She hated being spoon-fed like a baby. Tana didn't appear to like it either, so at least they were both miserable. These are extremely bitter, but you need to chew them thoroughly if they're gonna work. Nozomi wasn't thrilled, but did as she was told once Tana brought them to her lips. The texture was rough as sandpaper. The bitterness didn't just sting her mouth, it felt like it stung her entire body. I'll be back later with lunch. If you need something, just yell. I can bring a bucket for you if you need it. Stay in bed and sleep as much as you can. Got it? I understand. Without another word, Tana gathered everything onto the tray and left. Nozomi expected to hear Veshnis scold her for acting out of line and thinking about death. However, the room remained eerily quiet. Nozomi stayed sitting up. The painkillers quickly kicked in, while their taste still lingered in Nozomi's mouth. She tasted worse medicines. Nozomi didn't want the pain to melt away. It wasn't right for Tana to take it from her. Nozomi clutched her left arm. Her nails had gotten so long and sharp. Without thinking, she sunk them deep into her skin and scratched. Still no word from the monster in her blood. Finally, silence. Chapter 8. Close. When Nozomi was young, she could tell the days by which patients came in to see her mom. Mrs. Watanabe on Monday, Mr. Kobayashi on Tuesday, Miss Ashikaga on Wednesday, Mr. Takuda on Thursday, Mr. Noguchi on Friday, Mrs. Izumi on Saturday, Miss Kirafuji on Sunday. Presently, the only way Nozomi could keep track of the days was by counting the painkillers she had pretended to take. Nozomi had spent 3 days in this room. 3 days in complete silence, pain, and boredom. All she could really do was scratch herself or just go back to sleep. Sleep was not an escape. Nozomi never had nightmares, but she did have dreams, happy dreams, of her friends alive and well, happy to see her. She dreamed about her mother, as if she never found out she didn't love her. The truth would rush back to her every time Nozomi woke up. The last nightmare she ever had was in elementary school. Her dad was mangled and full of glass. Her mom nowhere to be seen. It was horrific, but it was honest. Every time Nozomi woke from her deceptively sweet dreams, she'd count the painkillers. She hoped by the 8th day she might have enough to kill her pain permanently. Later that same day, Tana came with dinner and a boosted chair with wheels. What's that for? You need a proper bath. You've been cleaning and bandaging me just fine. You still stink. Tana laid her spear in the chair against the wall. Like always, she spoon-fed Nozomi in silence. Like always, Nozomi hated feeling so infantile. At least Tana wasn't acting nice. She was sharp, but honest as a nightmare. Once Nozomi finished her dinner, Tana helped her onto the chair. Tana firmly positioned her, careful to get her in the most balanced spot. She pushed her out the door and into a long hallway with no windows. It was eerily similar to the corridors of the hospital. The doors were all identical and closed, save for a few nameplates. Nozomi expected them to be written in Futurin, but they were instead written in Kanji? Tana opened the washroom door and pushed Nozomi past the linen closets and lockers. There, Tana undressed. Unsurprisingly, Futurin anatomy was strikingly similar to humans. However, this was the first time Nozomi realized Tana's lower left leg was a prosthetic. The humans took it. Huh? If you're wondering how I lost it, the humans fired bombs onto our homes. I'm so sorry. I lived. My parents didn't. No amount of apologies will bring them back, so don't even try. Zomi almost apologized again out of habit, but Tana was right. Apologies were worthless. Tana pushed Nozomi into the washroom. It looked just like a human communal bath. Nozomi had never been before. Carefully, Tana lifted Nozomi out of her chair and onto a stool. Nozomi was prepared for this. Her body was just meat. Tana never cared to comment or stare at the scar etched across Nozomi's abdomen. Neither cared to ever start a conversation most of the time. Tana never asked for further details about Nozomi's story, probably because it was easier not to know. That's how Nozomi felt towards Tana. She didn't want to know how old Tana was when she lost her leg, and more importantly, her parents. Despite her sharp tongue, Tana was surprisingly delicate whenever she unbandaged Nozomi. As she as she poured water down her back, Tana was careful not to disturb the scabs that had formed. Nozomi just laid there, unemotional, unfeeling. It was so strange. She didn't want to think about it, but it reminded her of the bath she took with her mother. The first time they ever took a bath together was after Nozomi's dad had died. As if to console her, her mother revealed scars on her neck that proved why she didn't want to take a bath usually. Nozomi felt a kinship with that. It made her feel better, knowing that she shared something with her mother. She almost felt proud to have a scar alongside her mother. It had been so long, and yet Nozomi remembered those scars intimately. 4 streaks on the left of her neck and 1 on her right. Her mother said that she got it in a car crash, the same car crash that took her own father when she was a teenager. Yet, as Nozomi grew older, she questioned how a car crash could form such a scar. It made little sense according to the rules of physics, yet her mother's word was law. Now Nozomi realized those scars never came from shrapnel. They were claw marks. Claws that could only belong to one beast, the very one her mother tamed and defiled. That's why her mother hid those scars. Nozomi remembered something else around her mother's neck. A long cylindrical pendant made of pure steel. Not a typical accessory that the other children's mothers would wear. Yet her mother wore it at all times, even when she bathed and slept. Until one day she just didn't anymore. When was that? When Nozomi was maybe 10? After, after, after her blood transfusion. The blood transfusion where she never actually saw where the blood was previously stored. Unaware it had been right in front of her her entire life. Nozomi vomited a flood of bile. How else could she respond? I'm sorry! Nozomi bowed her head in shame, bile dripping from her lips. She watched the green sludge dance and dissipate with the water on the floor, till they both vanished down the drain. If only it were so simple. What was that? Uh, it's nothing. Are you just not used to Futuran food? Do you have a fever? What is going on? I'm fine. I'm fine. Let me check your fever. Okay, you seem cool. I have some herbs that can help with nausea. It's fine. No, it's not fine. You just threw up. Just take me back to my room, please. After the bath, Tana lifted a newly bandaged Nozomi back into the chair. Nozomi expected to return to her tomb-like room, yet Tana pushed past it. Down at the end of the hallway, they entered a room with bunk beds, a couple of desks. There was a light, along with books written in kanji on her bedside. Unfortunately, while there were windows, it was too dark to see out. Is this? Yep. You'll be staying in this room from now on. I made sure to put your clothes and other things in your bedside table. Oh, okay. Carefully, Tana lifted Nozomi out of her chair and into the bed. She made sure to cover her with blankets, thankfully not as stinky as the ones from the department stores. Do you need anything else? Just her stash of painkillers. No, thank you. Okay. Let me know if anything changes. Without another word, Tana left. Nozomi considered checking the books, but decided to sleep instead. Maybe she'd get lucky and have a nightmare. Before Nozomi could dream, she was woken up by a loud tapping sound. Nozomi tried to cover her ears and ignore it. The tapping persisted. Nozomi opened her eyes. There was no one. The sound was coming from the window. She tossed a book at it, only to hear a caw. Curiosity piqued, Nozomi forced herself out of bed. It hurt like hell, and she could have easily called for Tana, but she didn't. There, on the windowsill, was a raven. Was it that raven? Nozomi opened the window, and the raven immediately flew onto her bed and cawed some more. Nozomi slowly moved back, almost dropping on the bed, but it didn't seem to bother the raven. It inched closer to her, offering its neck. Oh, thanks. Nozomi stroked the raven's feathers. It hummed happily, but Nozomi felt nothing. Suddenly, there was a change. The raven flew out the window. Nozomi was too tired to close it, so she just settled back into bed. As expected, Tana opened the door. What was that sound? I opened the window. Tana frowned and looked over to Nozomi's handiwork. Could I keep it open? The breeze feels nice. Tana contemplated. Whatever. Just don't even think about sneaking out. I won't. Thank you. As soon as Tana left, the raven flew back in. Nozomi was too tired to stroke its feathers. Somehow, the raven seemed to understand and flew up to the bed above Nozomi to rest. Animals were simple like that. Just a bit of food, and they'd follow you forever, even when they really shouldn't have. Chapter 9, Relics. Why do people always smile when they hurt you? For the first time in a long time, Nozomi woke up to sunlight. A sweet scent wafted through the open door. It was so inviting. Nozomi rolled to the other side and covered her nose. Pain embraced her. Tana came in with breakfast, a white robe and a pair of crutches. There were no leaves, though. If you didn't want to take your medicine, you could have said so. I don't appreciate having resources wasted. Nozomi wasn't going to waste them. Sorry. I don't care if you want to tough it out or you just hate the taste that much. If you don't want it, you tell me. I understand. Tana breathed out and began to feed Nozomi. She hated it. She could have refused. She was too tired to even try. Afterwards, Tana encouraged her to get dressed for outside. Nozomi had no choice. A gentle breeze welcomed Nozomi to the outside, tickling her nose with that same sweet scent. Like a blanket of snow, lovers' lilies grew in abundance. They looked just like Rurik's drawings, white, pristine, with 8 petals. As soon as Nozomi turned her head to the left, she realized she recognized this place. This lake surrounded by mountain peaks. She recognized the other building ahead of her. There were other additions she didn't recognize, like a few more buildings, a greenhouse, and windmills, but she knew this mountain valley. This was the very same base her mother lived in. No matter where she went, she could never escape. A loud bark interrupted Nozomi's thoughts. She turned and saw red. Ta! She stopped and realized it wasn't him. It was another boy. He had red hair, though it was softer, duller. Similar to Tana, he had a stripe in his hair, crimson. His eyes were milky, though, with just a hint of emerald. Oh, did sister tell you about me? No, I told you to stay inside. Oh, but sister, this human is no threat. It is a pleasure to meet you, mysterious human. I am Tamu. What is your name? Nozomi. Oh, great. What a marvelous human name. I know, right? Great. You know her name. Now go back inside. Oh, but I need to introduce her to Zaphix. Tana growled, and only then did Nozomi notice the four-legged creature beside him. It was strange, to say the least. It appeared to have the body of a cat, stripes and tail like a tiger, ears like a rabbit, and the head of a dog. May I show you around our home? No, you can't. I didn't agree to give her a tour. Don't worry, Nozomi. I'm sure sister will change her mind. I won't. Is that what siblings did? She only met a single pair of siblings, and they were not like this. Well, maybe a little. We at least sit and bask in the beautiful day God has bestowed upon us? It would be so rude not to. Fine. Julius! Tamu guided them to an old picnic bench beside the lake. Was he blind? He had to be, as he had a cane to guide his path along with Zaphix, was it? The siblings settled in, prompting Nozomi to do the same. From the bench, Nozomi could see the lake run off into a river down the mountain. From this angle, Nozomi realized something strange. The building she had been staying in, part of it had caved in. Is it not lovely? Nozomi blinked, realizing the question was for her. Yes, it's very lovely. Did they have lakes and mountains in the stars? No. Pity. Did you read any of the books I left? I am ever so curious. Oh, sorry. I haven't gotten to any of them. Seriously? All that time and you didn't even try? Sorry, I just wasn't feeling well. Completely understandable. You were so heavily injured when Zaphix and I found you. So it was their fault, not Tana's. That's why God led us to you, knowing Tana could heal you. Now we can learn all about each other and be the best of friends. Tamu! It is true! God sent the Crimson Corvid to guide me. You saw a bird? I'm sorry, I mean you. Tana shot Nozomi the sharpest glare she had ever given. Tamu just continued to smile obliviously. Could hear him. Then Zaphix followed. Sister, is he still here? Yes. Joyous! You should name him! Names are for pets, not wild animals. Oh, very well. Nozomi, you should name him. Who? The Crimson Corvid. Um, sorry, I don't have a name off the top of my head. That is no trouble at all. It shall come to you in time. It was just a conversation. A strange and chipper conversation with a friendly boy her age. Yet, Nozomi had never felt more exhausted than right now. If it's all right, I'm feeling a bit tired, so I'd like to go back to my room now. So soon? I'm sorry. If you need to rest, then rest. I'll take you back. Tamu, stay here. But sister, what did I say? Apologies. I shall stay. With Tana's help, Nozomi made it back up onto her crutches. Tamu waved goodbye. Thankfully, Nozomi didn't have to wave back. Tana and Nozomi moved forward. Your brother is nice. He doesn't know any better. When Nozomi walked inside, Tana headed in the direction opposite to her room. Follow me. Nozomi was too tired to ask or refuse. Wordlessly, Tana and Nozomi entered the caved-in room. The walls were painted with dark brown stains. Large scratches marred the walls and floor. Scratches as long and deep as those left by a broadsword. Nozomi froze. Her scarred back chilled while her blood heated. So, you recognize this place, don't you? I do. What is it? This is where my mom lived. Can you take a guess what happened in this room? I don't know. Take a guess. If I had to, this is probably where Veshnis got her revenge. Yeah, I thought so. My brother says you're here for a reason. Do you believe that? I don't. There's no way a human can be given a purpose by God. What's your purpose? My purpose is to protect my soft-hearted brother. Humanity has hurt him enough as it is. Is that why he's blind? Obviously! I'm sorry. Spare me your worthless pity. Get better and leave us out of your mess. If you want to protect your brother so badly, wouldn't it be easier just to kill me? You could easily hide it from him. I'm not going to obey a human. Unlike you, I would never kill anyone. Nozomi almost retorted, but knew it was futile. If you want to die so bad, do it yourself. I know you're just itching for it. It'll save me the time and resources anyhow. Nozomi bit her lip. A sweet-smelling breeze filled the room. I'm going back to my room now. Tana huffed and left her to it. By the time Nozomi reached her room, every part of her body burned with pain. It wasn't rejection symptoms, though. She opened the door and was greeted by a familiar caw. There, on the bed, he was perched. Nozomi glared at the raven, who hopped on to the stack of books on her bedside. It was his fault. Get out! The raven cocked its head, confused. Get out! It didn't listen, so she ran forward with her crutches, trying to startle it. The tower of books toppled over, but the raven would not leave the room. Instead, it fled for the bed. Furious, Nozomi grabbed a book and threw it at the raven. Get out! It was the raven's fault she had been saved. Her death would have been perfect, yet this mindless animal had to ruin it. After a few more books, the raven swooped down to one of the desks. Nozomi dropped her crutches and lunged forward, pushing the raven out of the window. Nozomi slammed the window shut. When the raven flew back and pecked at the glass, she slammed her hand against it. Still, the dumb bird remained. All she could do was pull the curtains down. She didn't want the light anyway. Nozomi pushed herself back to bed, nearly tripping on one of the books she tossed. She quickly turned out the incessant pecking. Her body felt so full of hot air that she desperately needed a release. So she scratched herself over and over in the same spot. The signals of pain from her back and leg rapidly moved into her arm. Suddenly, Nozomi felt something wet on her fingers. She blinked and moved her hand closer to see. Her index and middle fingers were stained red. There was a time Nozomi thought blood was beautiful. The way its bright red color deepened as it traveled through the IV and into a test tube. She always wanted to hold it, but her mother never allowed it. It was life in liquid form. It wasn't meant to be held by her. Nozomi stared at the blood on her fingers as if it were an ugly parasite. That's exactly what it was. Had she taken the cure back then, she could have purged it from her veins. Maybe she could bleed it out. No. The parasite would just wriggle its way deeper into her body, clinging on until all her human blood spilled out and she was dead. Nozomi wiped the blood off her sheets. At the very least, the heat was gone. In the darkened room, Nozomi observed the mess she had made. Relics of an extinct species littered the room like mere trash. They didn't deserve that fate. So Nozomi forced herself back up and began to collect the books from the floor. One book had fallen open, its page illuminated by light leaking through cracks in the curtains. Without meaning to, she saw a familiar character written down. Yuki. Nozomi lifted the book up from the ground, carefully carrying it along with the other books back to her bedside. She could have returned it to the newly restored tower of books, but she didn't. Instead, she turned on the lamp and examined the book's cover. Looking closer, she could see the engraved characters. Shiro Arakawa, Nozomi's maternal grandfather. Nozomi should have put the journal down right there. What else was there to know? She needed to put it back with the other books she'd never read. Yet, she couldn't fight the gravity of curiosity. No, Something far more powerful than that. So powerful, she couldn't describe it in one word. Whatever it would never let go of her. So Nozomi turned to the page he had bookmarked to read, and read. December 19th, 2614. The cryptoglobin samples have been illuminating. It's far more powerful than any human blood, even on a molecular level. Unfortunately, we only have the one sample to compare. Even then, it was smaller than I had hoped. Still, it will help us better understand these unique Futurans. I hypothesize we could use this cryptoglobin to finally damage those select Futurans, though that is a test best left to the military. I've yet to report our findings to them. I must wait until I have enough research to back up my theory. By then, they'll surely reapprove our survey research. Of that I am certain. Yuki still hasn't spoken to me. I'm certain she hates me. It was a small price to pay. Futurans are dangerous, especially those that possess cryptoglobin. It was a miracle she managed to befriend one so young, who also possessed cryptoglobin. We learned a great deal through Subject V, but it wasn't enough. Everyone knows Futuran customs. What we needed was Subject V's blood. Had I realized its importance, I would have asked for it sooner. Maybe then it would have been easier on Yuki. I worry, though. Yuki swore to me that the subject was drained dry, yet she returned with only 1.5 liters of cryptoglobin. She said she tripped and lost the remaining amount. For her sake, I hope she did not lie to me. Nozomi turned the page, but that was it. She turned to the pages before the entry, only to find them ruined by water damage. Still, Nozomi tried to scour the deluge of inky water for anything resembling a character. Nothing. It was all gone. Forever lost to time. Nozomi gritted her teeth. Why did she want to read this? What more was there to know that wasn't made perfectly clear to her? She needed to escape her mother's suffocating hold. Yet here she was, trapped in the hollowed out corpse of her mother's home. Only one way to escape. The next day, Tana came and went as usual. Neither said a word, as if nothing had happened yesterday. Only once Tana was gone, Nozomi just stared at the wooden bed frame. The raven landed on the windowsill, but it was smart enough not to peck any more, so it just stood there, watching her. It wasn't remotely human-like, and yet the raven's gaze radiated pity. Nozomi averted her eyes and focused on the wood above her. Nozomi! Tamu called. Nozomi remained silent. I am entering! The strange chimera, or Velvy, as it was called, had managed to finesse the door open. It dropped down to the floor and led Tamu in. Are you awake? Yes. Joyous! How are you feeling? Good. Sister is excellent at tending to all manner of injuries. She is, but doesn't she want you to stay away from me? Yes, but she won't find out. Sister naps at this hour every day. Still, if she does happen to find out, I'll tell her it was my idea. I just have so many questions. I simply must know. About what? Well, for starters, Tamu pulled something from his satchel. A porcelain giraffe. What is this? Oh, that's a giraffe. What is that? Well, it's a herbivore, with hooves, and it has these spots on it and a really long neck. Oh, curious. Where do they live? Do they live in the stars? Uh, no. They lived on this thing called a savanna. And what is that? It's like a field, but it's more dried out. Wow, that is so interesting. Wow, you are so smart, Nozomi. I really not. It felt weird. This porcelain giraffe belonged to someone, a human being. Now it was in the hands of a complete stranger, with no clue who the original owner was. I apologize for intruding. Honestly, I would like to know as much as I can about you humans, especially now that you're the only one. I want to help you to remember and preserve their knowledge. Why, though? We're the ones who brutally colonized your planet. My mom is the reason Veshness turned into a violent tyrant. I was part of the mission to wipe out all life on Futurum. I even killed Quinzile and took his blood. Tamu just stood there in brief silence. His loyal Velvy Zaphix nudged its dog nose against his hand. I will admit, you humans are a fearsome creation. When Sister told me of you and your confession, I was angry and afraid. Then I realized whatever I say to you cannot be worse than what you have likely said to yourself. I can hear the sadness and regret in your voice. You've lost your way and everything you have ever known. That is why God sent you here. That is the reason Zaphix and I found you. Zomi was sick of reason and pity. That's very kind of you, but you don't have to force yourself. Not forcing, I am accepting. Sister may provide physical help, but you need spiritual help. Thank you. I appreciate it, but you don't need to worry about me. I feel better each day. Perhaps I am pushing too hard. Sister says I can be infuriatingly nosy, so I shall leave you to rest. Until we meet again, Nozomi. Tamu flicked Zaphix's leash, prompting the Velvy to lead him towards the door. Just as Zaphix opened the door, Tamu turned back to Nozomi. Everything God does, he does with purpose. However, things don't always go as he intends. He gave Veshness her strong blood, and while she did try to liberate us, she lost her way. That's why the Second Coming was born. So even if you feel lost, God will always be prepared to help. Thank you. You are most welcome, Nozomi. With that, Tamu finally left. The weight Nozomi carried through that conversation finally collapsed onto her. She wanted to throw up, but nothing came. So the vile feeling sloshed and swished inside her. There was no reason or purpose to Nozomi's suffering. She just suffered. There was no reason for her to meet Tana and Tamu. They just lived where the lovers' lilies were. Nozomi had already been puppeted along by so many. She didn't need to add the soul of Futurum. Or maybe she did. Maybe nothing, not even her rebellion, was of her own free will. Maybe she survived and existed just to be a specimen, a living archive of human knowledge, no original thoughts or feelings, just a reflection of everyone but her own self. Chapter 10. Remembrance. Weeks passed, or maybe it was months. Whatever it was long enough for the stitches to come out. Tamu was there every single day. He'd wait for Tana to take her afternoon nap, then barge into Nozomi's room with a new relic for her to identify. When Tana inevitably found out, she didn't stop it. From then on, Tamu would try to push Nozomi to go outside with him. One day, Tamu barged in with a smile. Luckily, he couldn't see Nozomi's face. Zaffix could, but the Velvy didn't care. Afternoon, Nozomi. How are you feeling? Great. Joyous! Then are you ready to go outside? Yes. It was faster this way. Anything less than happy, and she'd be stuck with him all day. So she got up, crutches and all, and followed him outside. There, she saw the trees and grass dulling with death. This was natural. This was autumn. Yet one plant defied this cycle. No matter how many leaves browned and fell, the lover's lilies remained unnaturally pristine. Constant reminder. Nozomi obediently followed behind Tamu. The greenhouse was his domain, so naturally he'd want to go there. She'd see all the plants he boasted about tending to. Some were foreign to her, others were left from humanity. All of them had a purpose. Let me see, where did I put it? Are you looking for something? Yes, but don't worry, it'll only take me a moment before I find it. I could help. No, you just stay there. I'm sure I will find it. Zaffix can also help me. Just a moment. This was going to take forever. Yes, found it. Tamu handed her a framed photo, a photo of people by the lakes. All of them were adults, except for one. A teenage girl with white hair and sapphire eyes, making a peace sign. Beside her was a man with silver hair and a gentle smile. Can you tell me what is in this photo? Um, it's a photo of the lake. Are there any humans in it? No, just the lake. Oh, I suppose that makes sense. Wish I could have met the humans who lived here, but I am thankful I can converse with their descendant. Zomi twitched. She twitched a few times, back when she lurked in the biolab with Yugamu. Both boys were so eager to poke and dissect her like a frog. She wished they were only interested in her body, not her personal life on top of it. Nozomi had to force herself to smile just to get the words out. Tamu could ask her all the questions in the world, but he barely talked about his past. Did your mother ever tell you about this place and the people she met here? Not a word. Pity. I'm sorry, Tamu, but if it's okay with you, I'd like to go back in now. Are you feeling ill? No, I'm fine. I'm just not used to this kind of weather. Oh, of course. It is so sad you humans never had seasons up on the satellite. How did you not lose track of time? We had calendars. Oh! Ah, you are right! Tom's laugh felt like nails on a chalkboard. then, I shall not keep you. Rest well, Nozomi. I look forward to chatting again tomorrow. Thank you. Good job on the plants, too. They look great. I should hope so. Tamu waved goodbye, while Nozomi raced back to her room. For a few hours, Nozomi was at peace, just staring at the wood panel above her. She managed to make a few shapes, if she squinted. Eventually, Tana came in, unannounced, with dinner. Thankfully, she had stopped spoon-feeding Nozomi. When she finished her soup, Tana handed Nozomi her crutches. You stink again. Wordlessly, Nozomi followed her. They'd enter the washroom, take off their clothes, and bathe. No talking required. That was the plan. Until Nozomi took off her underwear. There, in the center, was a blood stain. Quickly, she scrunched it up and put it with the rest of her clothes. Hey, what was that? Nothing. Tana pushed Nozomi out of the way and inspected the underwear, her face scrunched up in confusion. You're bleeding? It's just my period. I'm fine. You're what? Uh, menstruation? Is that a human illness? You you don't bleed out from down there once a month? No? Why would I? I guess it's just a human thing. Your dad really hated you then if this happens every month. Well, it depends on the girl. I don't really get periods often. It's meant to tear down weak parts in the uterine wall so they grow back stronger. Tana looked completely dumbfounded and disgusted, despite helping Nozomi relieve herself into a bowl some time ago. It did sound insane. It helps us have babies. Whatever you say. There was an awkward silence. So, what do you need me to do? Huh? Do you need bandages or something? What do you usually do with this period thing? Oh, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You're losing blood. Well, I can't stop that. It'll only be for a few days. I'll just need to change my underwear and sheets. I am not washing all that. How about a rag? Would that work? We got plenty. Yes, thank you. Tana sighed with relief. Please don't tell your brother about this. I won't. Tana spoke bluntly, but Nozomi could sense sincerity. The next day, Nozomi woke up to pain, not from her leg or back. It was period cramps. Stupid, useless period cramps for a body that would never conceive. Nozomi turned to the window. The raven never came back after she threw it out. Maybe it migrated elsewhere. She hoped it did. But she knew better. The raven was still on this mountain, quiet and out of sight, but still present, just like the parasite in her blood. In place of the raven, there was a shriveled brown leaf on Nozomi's window. She recalled something her mother said. Nozomi was born in autumn. Naturally, young Nozomi asked what autumn was. Her mother described how the air would get colder and the leaves would change color. Nozomi remembered her first birthday without her mother. She had the house to herself, as Shiori was working late. So she made a cake for herself and her mother. If she closed her eyes and lifted a piece to her mother's photo, Nozomi could believe she was still there. But her mother was never there, not even when she held Nozomi close. Shiori would arrive later that night, long after Nozomi discarded the cake. She'd apologize profusely and give Nozomi a star phone strap as a birthday gift. Nozomi bowed her head and accepted it graciously, but she would never touch it afterwards. Now, Nozomi was an adult. Meanwhile, Takumi and the others would remain children forever. Hana would come and go like always. The only difference was the fresh rag to switch out with the one Nozomi had. Soon, Tamu would arrive. Just thinking of him made her cramps worse. Nozomi, are you awake? Yes, you can come in. Joyous! How are you feeling? Good. I wanted to take you someplace special today. Is it far? It's here in the valley, by the lake. Can you walk there? Yes. Outside, the air was getting colder. The lovers' lilies swayed in the breeze. Nozomi followed Tamu towards the lake. There, they headed up towards the buildings, opposite of the one they stayed in. Nozomi looked at her reflection rippling on the water. Then finally, Tamu stopped at a great big beautiful willow tree, its branches and leaves golden. Is it not lovely? Yeah. This is where my grandmother rests. Oh, yes, she was a most lovely and wonderful woman. I'm sure she would be so happy to have met you. Ah, but alas, I'm sorry. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. You don't need to worry. She was not killed by humanity. She died peacefully in her sleep, but 4 years ago. Now she sleeps here forever and is one with God. Oh, that's nice. Nozomi didn't know what to say. What could she say? Even if humans didn't directly kill their grandmother, they forced her into a dangerous situation. What was her name? Malshia. Nozomi bowed her head to the tree. Even if only Zafik saw it, it was important to show her respect. She hoped Takumi's grave could grow to be as beautiful as Malshia's. Hopefully no one would destroy it out of revenge, even if it was deserved. Tell me, what were they like, your friends? What? Well, I suppose you called them comrades. Nozomi dug her crutches into the dirt. I understand it is difficult, but I want to help you remember them. Memories are good for the heart. Nozomi gritted her teeth before she sighed. Tamu wasn't going to stop. She knew that. She was too tired to fight. If she opened up, then maybe that would satiate his curiosity and buy her time. There were 14 of them. It hurt. It felt like a scalpel had sliced open her chest. Takumi was their noble leader. Aito was troubled, but came around with time. Kurada built many wondrous things she'd happily boast about. With each friend Nozomi named and briefly described, it felt like a tweezer digging out an organ. Tamu stayed mostly quiet as he listened and nodded his head. He didn't look at her directly, but she knew he would if he could. Once she was hollowed out, he spoke. Oh, I understand why you cared so much for them. I can hear it in your voice. Your compassion. You miss them so terribly, as if they were your very limbs. It is so painful. It is. That is your purpose. No. God has chosen you, Nozomi, to carry on your friends and humanity's legacy. No, no, no. Nozomi tried to stay calm. The cavity festered with rot. Why did she open it? She should have known better. She needed to stay calm. I know it is a heavy burden, but I have faith you will prevail, because you have a true and noble heart. God knows it, and I know it. To hell with it. You're wrong. Come again? I said you're wrong. I'm not chosen by God. I survived because Veshness's blood decided to keep me alive. She made me sick, not God. How do you? I know it because she speaks to me. The monster that my own mother created speaks to me. Oh, I guess that's my purpose, to make up for the horrible things my mother and all of humanity did. I wasn't trying. You were! I don't want a purpose. I want to die. That is all I wanted, and you took that away from me. No! Shut up! All you do is talk and poke and prod at me. That's all you want. You don't know me. You don't care about me. So stop pretending that you do. But I said shut up! As she shouted, saliva flew out of Nozomi's mouth like a rabid dog. Zaphix raised her striped hackles and growled. Tamu held his cane and Zaphix's leash close to his chest. His lips trembled as tears rolled down his cheeks. Nozomi did this. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, Nozomi. This was her chance. An out. The old her would have jumped at the chance to redeem herself. That Nozomi died to the bear. I don't want your pity. I want you to leave me alone. Forever. Tamu trembled. It would teach him a lesson. Nozomi walked back to her room with no remorse. People's hatred hurt far less than their love. Hours passed. Still, Nozomi didn't regret what she did. It had to be done. She was a monster. She needed to stop pretending she wasn't. Inevitably, Tana burst through the door, looking redder than her own eyes. She stomped over with nothing but her spear. A spear that could easily gut Nozomi like a fish. Nozomi just calmly sat in her bed, knowing that would anger Tana even more. What did you do? You need to be more specific. You know what? You made my brother cry. Why? I told him what he didn't want to hear. He's not used to people saying no to him, so he cried about it like a baby. Tana gritted her teeth and growled. Now if she just held that spear closer. You stupid, selfish, monstrous human being! It's not my fault you and your grandmother raised him to have no boundaries. Is it? Like the head of a cobra, Tana pulled the spear back and lunged it forward. But it did not strike Nozomi. It only dug itself into the wall beside her head. Tana looked at her with eyes fierce and sharp, growling as she lurched forward to Nozomi, positioning her against the wall. You are pathetic. You think you're the only girl who's lost everything? That just because your species is gone, that gives you the right to be as despicable as you want? Yes. No, you don't, you filthy liar. I do. You've been rotting long enough. Too afraid to live and too afraid to die. Why? What makes you so damn indecisive? I want to die. Neither of you will let me. Please. You've had your chances. Plenty. Be honest and admit it. I already admitted I wanted to die. Admit what's stopping you then. You're not scared of death. It's something else. Someone else. Isn't it? Like it or not, you survived when everyone didn't. They're completely dead and gone. So stop acting like they can still see and judge you, because they can't. What about your family? They don't get a say when they're dead. I'm not apologizing. Fine. Tana pulled back, taking her spear with her. Dinner will be ready in an hour. I don't need it. I don't care. An injured body is the same, regardless of the owner. With that, Tana took her leave, leaving behind only a crack in the wall as proof of her contempt. Once Nozomi got her cast off, she'd finally leave this hellhole, leave those insufferable siblings behind, and find a future in her animal that would kill her this time. Days passed. Tamu never showed up. Finally, Nozomi had some peace. Boring, painful peace. She passed the time as usual by doing absolutely nothing. Nozomi's period faded away, but she still had cramps, just in her chest now. This had to be the longest she'd gone without apologizing to someone. Second longest, technically. She had to stay strong. It had to be said. She had to keep Tamu away from her. That's what Nozomi kept repeating to herself. Yet with each passing day, her chest tightened. This wasn't like before, with the parasite. Tamu wasn't a parasite. He couldn't even kill a fly. Desperately, Nozomi tried to suppress her desire to apologize. She told herself it was for Tamu's own good. Nothing good came from knowing her. She deserved this pain and loneliness. However, she knew this went against Takumi's dying wish. She promised him. She promised him she would make peace with the Futurans. Imagining his disappointment, it made her ill. Tamu had the best of intentions. She knew that. She could have just been honest from the start. She could have tried to set some boundaries, but she didn't. She held it in, like always, until it burst. Zomi didn't deserve forgiveness, but Tamu deserved an apology. Tana came in with lunch, silent but judgmental as ever. Tana? What? I want to apologize to Tamu. Tana hesitated. You're serious about this? Sincerely. Just because I don't want. Just because I want to die doesn't mean I should drag him down with me. I'll consider it. Tana, please. I need to do this. All right. Just stay here and eat. I'll go get him. You better have a good apology prepared. Eventually, the door opened again. Tana led Tamu and Zafix in. Tamu remained silent and eerie without his usual smile. Tamu, I'm so sorry for the way I treated you. You were only trying to help and I snapped at you. You don't have to forgive me. I just want you to know it's not your fault. But it is my fault. No, it is! That was the first time Nozomi ever heard Tamu raise his voice. It appeared to be a shock to Tana and Zaphix, too. I let my curiosity get the better of me. I presumed I knew God's intent. You were only trying to help. Sister, please, let me speak. I am the one who is at fault. I will take the responsibility and respect your wishes, Nozomi. Tamu, I don't want you to blame yourself. I'm the one at fault. No, I am. No, you're a good person, Tamu. So are you, Nozomi. I'm really not. You are. All right! You both admit you made mistakes, and you don't want the other to feel bad. So let's just agree and learn from this. Okay? Okay. That is wise. Thank you. Now, is there anything else either of you want to say? Besides, I'm sorry. Well, from now on, I want you to tell me if I'm too much or need a rest. Is that all right with you, Nozomi? Yes, I really appreciate it. Is there anything I can do to make up for what I did to you, Tamu? Well, I was wondering, before all this happened, could you help me in the greenhouse? Sure. I've never really worked with plants, so you'll have to teach me. Gladly! Many hands make light work. Sister, is that all right? As long as you two behave. Oh, I most certainly will. Me too. You better. Without thinking, Zomi cracked a smile. It was brief, but she couldn't help it. This familiar feeling, however small, was nice.